Hello and welcome to SJP World Media. This is In the Corner. I am, of course, Benny Mac. Joining me from across the pond, the tag team partner that I have to drag to and do the hot tag to every now and again. Tyler, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Benny Mac, it is so great to rejoin you for another episode. And this is our second one going live. I can't believe it, but congratulations are in order. It's just awesome to be discussing some wrestling live here on all the SJP World Media platforms.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, on delay, obviously, on podcasts. It's episode 56 of In the Corner, and also the second ever live episode. Although this week we have no boss man with us, so we'll see how it goes. Basically,
What happened? Did we make him upset because he didn't join us again? I don't know.
He's been drafted to Chain Wrestling, so unlike WWE, he has to stay over there unless he's invited. Basically,
that's what it is.
How are you, my friend?
Okay. Man, I am doing just terrific. It's always a fun time getting to join you on In the Corner.
Yeah, I appreciate it. There's a lot of people in the chat already. Appreciate it. Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
welcome
there
to the
is.
Show.
Hey, guys.
Dan Griffin there. Evening ITCF, not Ipswich Town affiliated. We're going to get on a shirt, man. You said that last week. It was brilliant. Obviously, we did see Connor there as well. Connor, saying hello to both of us. All right, Connor, how you doing? SGP. Oh, he is Connor. Watching. He is watching. SGP
oh, he is.
He is watching. So we got to behave ourselves, basically, is what we're getting at.
Yeah, I'm going to try, Benny. I'm not going to make any promises. So, hey, it is what it is.
Well, we're going to talk some WWE, obviously. We've got some Smackdown to talk about, a little bit of. We've got some Raw to talk about. We've got Money in the Bank coming up. There's a year of this show coming up as well, which I'll announce it now. A Facebook user, you need to put your name in, by the way, so we know who you are. So, but yes, there will be a mention of that in a moment. But very quickly, on the year, because when Money in the Bank hits, basically, and it's a year of this show, I won't actually be here. I'm on holiday, so I'm hopefully that's still in the running. It should be you and Sai in a couple of weeks doing some, Money in the Bank stuff and predictions and review, basically. So I'm not actually going to be around for it, basically, which is a year of this show.
So you're ditching us, is what you're saying.
I've done a year. I'm going on holiday. All right.
There you go. Hey, well deserved, but I had to tease you.
No, it's fine. No, it just worked out that way. Basically, it was in a week we could get. So yeah, going on holiday. Basically, to the Facebook user there, yeah, you need to put your name in there, ladies and gents. But yes, there will be a mention of that, and we're going to mention it right now. Just before we came on air, I didn't know this. I was setting up the show. Tyler brought it to my attention, but WWE legend, the Iron Sheik, has passed away, and it was only announced a couple of hours ago, I think, at 81. So, I've only really got one memory of Iron Sheik, to be honest, and that was my second year watching wrestling, which was WWE or WWF at the time, and the gimmick Battle Royal. But I know he's such an influential character from his era, and even then I knew who he was, but I hadn't really seen any of his stuff. I enjoyed his Twitter account though. To be honest, I will admit I did follow that.
Oh, his Twitter account was entertaining.
Any thoughts? I mean, you're more aware of his work than me, Tyler, on this particular case. So I know he transcended the business in terms, and I love the Hulk Hogan hate that we got from his Twitter account. But 81 years old, that's not a bad life, to be fair. But it's always sad when somebody passes, isn't it? So
very sad. Yeah, I had to go back and research like you and so many others to really learn and grasp just the significance that the Iron Sheik had on the professional wrestling business. And, just like you, Benny, I just want to send out my heartfelt condolences to the family, to friends, meaning his peers, and also us being fans of his. And I truly did not get the gimmick and character or appreciate it till later. And that's really the shame of it. And I was just so shocked and saddened to hear of his passing. But rest in peace, the Iron Sheik. He was very entertaining. I mean, you said that his Twitter would make you laugh. It was great. The hate toward Hulk Hogan. Yes, respect Sheik forever, Bubba. One of his classic lines, Sheiky baby. We've all heard them. And, that's what I love, seeing everybody share posts. I think we all have. And it's just been a somber kind of past month or a couple, because we lost superstar Billy Graham, we've lost Jerry Jarrett, Lanny Poffo, and now the Iron Sheik. So it's the unfortunate part of life, but at least we've got the memories. You said it. Your recollection was the battle royal that had the Iron Sheik winning, and mine goes back to when he was feuding with Hulk Hogan, even in the
Yeah,
wrestling business, and where, hey, if it wasn't for Iron Sheik dropping the belt in the WWF, I mean, it's safe to say there wouldn't be much of a Hulkamania if that did not occur. So a lot of credit needs to go to the Iron Sheik. I mean, realistically.
yeah, no, 100%. Again, like I said, my knowledge, I know who he is. Obviously, I'm a wrestling fan, so even though I even when I started watching, I was given tapes and stuff of Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik and stuff. So I don't necessarily recollect it all because it wasn't what I was into the tail. I was in the 2000s onwards, so I caught the tail end of the Attitude Era and stuff. But yeah, seeing my first thing is always because it was the first time I really saw him in the ring, because I knew who he was because he's a Hall of Famer and all that kind of stuff. But I personally love the gimmick battle royal. To be honest, I know it is what it's a gimmick, which is the whole point of it. But you told me, I didn't know this. The reason he won it is because of his knees weren't overly very good, so he won the battle royal. So if you're a wrestler out there and you want to win a battle royal, just tell him you can't go over the top rope because your knees are too dodgy. So
Correct. I
that
mean,
seems to be
I
a
think
thing.
that was a true statement. And I had to learn that from other podcasts and people that were close within WWE that and knew the Sheik because he had some health challenges. And hey, that's a good way. Hey, talk to the promoter and go, hey, listen, I've got bad knees, I've got some injuries. Can I just win the thing and let's get it
Yeah,
over
yeah.
with?
There is a negative to that because you could end up not working that night, so you would be in the match at all. So
There's
there's
also
always
the negative. So don't
yeah, yeah.
don't necessarily listen to my advice because that would not be good for you. But speaking of trouble, just leave it to me. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
there we go. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll as thoughts and prayers go to fans and family and friends of the Sheik. Obviously, then if anybody happens to hear this show or see this show, I still mourn I still gutted that Eddie Guerrero's not around to this day, man. So, um, you
Oh,
know.
Eddie Guerrero was a huge loss.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Okay.
Sai in the chat here. It was he had to win as he couldn't be eliminated. I think Sergeant Slaughter was maybe the original plan. I wrestled it because Sergeant Slaughter got back in the ring and attacked the Sheik after the match, didn't he? So he got the last laugh type thing and got his music playing and saluted and all that. I
No,
remember
he
that now.
did.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
there was a rivalry back in the during the golden era of the WWF where it was Sergeant Slaughter taking on the Iron Sheik, and they knew each other going back to training with Ric Flair and Vern Gagne. So you need to go back and really look it up because it's really neat to see that he came over here from Iran and really lived the American dream if you think about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, as I said, just it's a shame when somebody passes away. But there we go.
Oh, it
And
is.
Sheik, unfortunately, if you didn't know that, yeah, as we're live now, and obviously if you listen to this show later tonight, has unfortunately passed away at 81. So let's try and talk some modern day wrestling, I guess, and try and cheer everybody up now
Yeah,
after that
let's
bad
try to
news. So
lift our spirits up. Yeah.
let's move on. Let's go SmackDown first. Obviously, the biggest highlight is obviously, it's it's the bloodline, isn't it? Let's face it. It is one of the biggest highlights. Roman
It's
Reigns
got to be.
got a new belt as well, and also Jimmy is out of the bloodline. So let's talk about the belt quickly. To be honest, the belt, it looks pretty much how I thought the belt would look, if that makes any sense. There it is. You can see it on the screen for those watching live. Let's move Tyler over there because he's off screen there.
And I think you're making a lot of sense, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
But it is what it is, man. It's got the gold back, which I like, by the way. I did, but it does actually read undisputed champion underneath there as well. So again, a lot of people are, well, what about Seth and his bout and stuff? Does that? So he's not the undisputed. No, he's the world heavyweight champion, and Roman is.
There is a
still
difference.
There is a difference, and so, but I don't hate it. I like the fact that they've got the gold back on the belt because I hate it when they say, "Oh yeah, they win." You like the tag team titles then? Oh, they've won the gold, but they're both got silver plating on it, and it's like it's not gold though, is it? So for me, bouts should be gold because it's about winning the gold. It always has been. So I mean,
I see
what are
what
you
you mean,
thinking?
but they are very nice. I mean, you can't deny the how they really create these belts to look superior. But there is something about having the gold look because it makes it feel like any championship title. I mean, with any kind of sport. I mean, boxing, MMA, anything. Oh, a butter belt. How about that? With that
I'm
comment,
wondering if that's meant to
let's
be
do it.
was it meant to be a better bout, Morty, or was that, or have you put butt about? You know, it is what it is. Sai in the chat. I don't
Are
understand
you
how
thinking of
it can be.
pancakes or?
Yeah, the waffle. I don't understand. Sai saying in the chat, sorry, I don't understand how it can be undisputed when there is another world champion. Makes zero sense. There is an argument to be made for that. To be fair, it should be WWE
There
Universal
is.
Heavyweight Champion, I guess, because it's you got the Universal in there. I think eventually the undisputed will be dropped, and then I think the Universal will be dropped as well. I think eventually. No, Morty did meet. He did mean butter. So there we go.
No, so he meant it is butter, not Belter. Yeah, I
Dan
can't
Griffin.
believe it's not Belter.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It it's a WWE bout. It's what I expected it to kind of look like. To be honest with you, I didn't see it going off too far. Eventually, maybe, but at the moment, we've still got that, haven't we? So, yeah, Universal
Just
on
gonna have to give it
SmackDown.
time.
Yeah, that's it. So the World Heavyweight Championship is on Raw, and the undisputed Universal Champion is on SmackDown. So, I mean, this all leads into but yeah, Roman's got a new bout. It was presented by Triple H. Always good to see Triple H come out on the show. To be honest, I enjoy
Yeah,
seeing Triple
it
H.
makes the segment feel special. To your point,
Yeah,
seeing Triple H appear.
sorry, Clover Cruiserweight or Lurpak Light
or
Heavyweight bout. There you go. There you go.
Lurpak. Yeah, see, I love the creativity from the comments. It's really making me giggle. But you could almost think, well, it is wrestling. They could put a twist on it.
I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship, I actually quite like it. I like the design of it. It is, again, is it a continuation? For me, it's a continuation, but obviously of the World Heavyweight Championship, but a lot of people are saying it's
Well,
not. It's a brand new belt. So,
yeah. Well, the argument is that, even Seth Rollins, I think, said this on the Bump show for WWE and even Triple H made the statement when he presented that World Heavyweight Championship. And I know why it confused people, but their reasoning was, hey, listen, Roman's not going to be around all the time. So you need that kind of workers world heavyweight champion, the world anchor welt title. Hell, I mean, now they could send it into Triple H. We'll see. Yeah.
I think it will move towards more of a classic looking modern day bout eventually. I think it will. But obviously you got the WWE logo on it, which is the World Heavyweight title's got that now, like, very prominent. So obviously, it's good promotion for the company, obviously.
It is, but I wanted to ask you a question. Which belt do you like better though? The one that Seth has or Roman?
I liked the fact that he had two belts because he was the undisputed champion. I like the new. I wish it was the old gold belt, but I prefer I do like the design of the new. I like the design out of these two belts right in front of us, the WWE Undisputed Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. I prefer the World Heavyweight Championship, hands down. Obviously, you got to build it back up at the moment, obviously, but I like it.
No, you do. It's hard not to agree with you on that observation because the World Heavyweight Championship Seth is sporting just seems like that's more of your typical championship belt.
Yes, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, what does the chat think? Which one do you prefer out of the two? I'm not saying. I know a lot of us would want the old winged eagle back and everything, and I'm sure I reckon that may happen eventually. But let's talk about what actually happened on SmackDown quickly because there were a couple of qualifying matches.
Yeah, let's do it.
But we'll talk mainly bloodlines. That's the biggest highlight. Roman Reigns' new battle, as I've already said, and Jimmy is out of the bloodline basically, or at least that's how it seemed. Because obviously, anybody that watched Night of Champions, Jimmy had enough of the bullying, the BS. Super kick Roman in the face twice, I might add. Ultimately costing Roman and Sikoa the tag team championships. But it was an intense moment when the Usos came out. So Roman's been presented with the belt. Then the Usos come out. Jay still looking quite sheepish for me, very much like
He's
kind of
looking
like I
like
don't.
he's conflicted.
He's almost like he's not doing it, but he's almost like got that mankind sort of like not the back and forth, but he's
Mm-hmm.
almost got that going on. Like he
He's
doesn't.
going back
He's
and
on it. He's
yeah,
on
not
edge.
back and
He's
forth, side to side. Yeah.
yeah. He's on edge. I find, and it basically ended up with them Jimmy laying it down, saying we can be this is my brother, that's my brother, you're my brother, but you're not being a very good brother. Basically, essentially, and then Roman's line of kick him in the face. Then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And then he said, I'm talking to you, Jay. And he wants Jay to kick. Now, this isn't Sami Zayn, which obviously Jay had a problem with when he was
No, it's
conflicted. But
not.
this is his brother. This is his twin brother. So, I mean,
It's blood.
and then Solo was like, I acknowledge you, Tribal Chief, but they're my brothers. And as I'm watching this segment play out, Tyler, I don't know about you, I'm like, there's a swerve coming. I felt it. I was like, it's coming. And I'm literally on the edge of my seat watching this going, I mean, I'm taking all the mic time here, but what did you think of the segment? And were you
No.
thinking the same as me in that moment?
Well, I was thinking the same, especially when Roman embraced Jimmy. That's when I could kind of tell, well, something big's going to go down here. But they did a nice job building it up because, and I agree with Dan Griffin, the final segment on SmackDown was incredible television.
Yes.
That's what we've been saying. The Bloodline has been must-see TV for a long time, must-see premium live events even. But it's like that line you were just saying about him ordering Jay when he could easily, you thought it maybe he was going to tell Solo, instruct him to do it, the dirty work, which eventually that's what happened after Solo, you know, executed the Samoan spy to Jimmy. And I love how Roman is showing that he's literally hurt by the actions of Jimmy, that it brings him pain. He's
Yeah.
showing really a lot of dichotomy with his emotions, and Paul Heyman always sells them so well. So, hey, yeah, these comments are so helpful. That's a great point. Jimmy now is where Jay is in 2020, and maybe that's what we're going to see, where we'll see some matches. It sure looks like this could be a feud. That way, you could keep building the Cody later on. I know, credit to you, Benny, and I just think the segment is what wrestling when it's at its best. I have to think about it because it's hard to articulate it. You've got to have this arc of story, and we've discussed it in detail. The bloodline just keeps delivering, and it's hard
Yeah.
to not look at what they're doing concerning Roman Reigns and the Usos, Solo, and Paul Heyman. All of them are so instrumental in the success of this ordeal.
They all play their parts perfectly. This is a good because
Correct.
I still can't grasp that Jay hasn't done anything yet, but I think that's what this is the equivalent of the evolution story, isn't it? To a degree, it's like Randy Orton left, became world champion and stuff, and I don't know whether that's going to happen for Jimmy or not, but when Batista finally turned on Triple H back in crikey 2005, 6, something. No,
It was somewhere around those years.
2005. When we finally got the classic thumbs, which is now a classic thumbs down segment moment,
Mm-hmm.
when Jay finally, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. But when it does, when Jay finally has enough of Roman shit, sorry to drop an S bomb so early in the show, ladies and gents. It is unfiltered. It is uncensored.
I mean, it's uncensored.
It's
Exactly.
in the intro. It's in the intro. If you're watching live, it's in the intro. But when it happens, it's going to be a huge moment. Now, when it happens, I have no idea. I feel like it might be happening. I don't know whether SummerSlam is that still too soon because the way the Bloodline story is going. In terms of Roman's reign as champion, obviously we're past 1,000 days. I believe it's around September next year or October next year, 2024, when he would surpass Hulk Hogan's reign. So which is not impossible.
He would surpass him.
Yeah.
No, I mean the way they are positioning Roman Reigns with the title. I mean, the superiority would be a word that comes to mind. I mean, you don't know whether. And here's another twist. Maybe Jay doesn't join up with Jimmy. I mean, we always assume. I mean, but who knows? It's just the what if scenario of what's going to transpire.
Yeah. Well,
I would think it would have to. Yeah, but go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just going to say the hold that Roman seems to have over Jay. That's the main story. Now, I've seen literally. I've always said that Cody's going to be the guy to beat Roman. I mean, things could change, but in my mind now, Tyler, I'm probably still 80% Cody, but 20% is thinking, could it be Jay? Can you imagine? Could it be Jay in the long
Oh,
run? I don't know.
Jay
Yeah,
dethroning Roman. Hey?
do you know? I don't know, because the story is, yes, the bloodline has grown, obviously with Paul Heyman initially, and then the Usos, and then Jimmy eventually would join, even though he was against it in the beginning. Then Solo's there now. So the whole bumping into Solo a few weeks ago, the way they've done the camera angles,
Actually
with Solo,
cowering down.
yeah, and it's like, and yeah, as I said, the segment was bloody brilliant, and to be honest, I can't really say much more than that. And it was literally a case.
I mean, it's hard to put words.
Yeah. I was just going to say that literally when Solo moved over to the other side of the ring with his brothers, I was like, "There's a swerve coming. It's coming." And then when he hit the Samoan spike on Jimmy,
it was too easy.
Yeah, but it was brilliantly. Even though I was probably 95% sure he's going to do something. When it did happen, I was still like, "Oh my god, when is this going to end?" Because just when you think it's going to end, it then just
continues.
throws in another spanner in the works. Before we move on to the more of it, let's just quickly go to the comments. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Morty,
we appreciate
it. If the Morty just before he left, if the winged eagle comes back, it will have a huge W logo on it. Marketing wise, it makes sense. They have a huge logo because they present at the Super Bowl and sporting events, don't they? So yeah. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. He's right there with the logo. Again, marketing, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
It does, because you have to look at the marketing aspect as well.
Yeah,
hey, Size chiming in.
Yeah, Evolution story was well done. Covered it recently for Chain Wrestling, but the Bloodline stuff is much better. Apples and oranges at the end of the day.
I mean, they're different, but it's hard not to for him to justify his argument. Yeah.
In terms of the, so it was September. I couldn't remember if it was September or at the beginning of October, but this September 24th is when Roman Reigns, 2024 was when Roman Reigns would beat, surpass Hulk Hogan in the all-time title reigns. And ironically, it falls on a Friday, which would be SmackDown. So it's there on a plate. It's there on a plate. It could be achievable.
And who says that Cody Rhodes needs to be the guy still? I know we're hearing rumors that it would be nice if next year's WrestleMania, and I do see eventually them revisiting Roman and the American Nightmare going head-to-head again. But you brought up an astute point. Jimmy, if he was able to dethrone, what an accomplishment. And it would still be within the bloodline. It wouldn't be somebody outside the bloodline. That would be coming from within the family.
But now that's presented in front of me with this whole Hulk Hogan thing. It's hard to think or even believe that Roman's going to drop it anytime soon. Do you know? Because when are you going to be in this position again? For somebody who's like a Roman Reigns to be, to push that envelope of a long
He's
reign.
on such a plateau. Yeah, and I always got to use my hands. Forgive me to kind of describe things. So that's why the sign language. That's my code to BenNny. Hey, I'm describing some. Watch out. I'm doing puppets next. But no, the plateau for Roman Reigns. But he keeps going higher. It's like it's just when you think, well, he's achieved everything. No, and to your point, not only to surpass Hulk Hogan now. What really is going to impress me, that's impressive enough, but if they actually go ahead and try to attempt to do the Bruno thing, but man, that is such, I mean, the way Bruno was on top for so many years, if you go back and do the homework on it, I don't know if they're going to quite go that far with Roman, but to pass Hulk Hogan, I mean, I can see Hogan being more plausible to the point.
Yeah. Imagine we'll have another what's he been champion for about 3 years now, give or take, almost. So we got another 10 years of Roman Reigns. Yeah, so we'll have another 10 years. Roman Reigns is the champion.
Well, like Triple H was relaying in the promo on SmackDown, he was saying this is going to be somebody not only are you're going to talk about future generations, your kids, grandkids, like we're talking about Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, we're talking about Bruno, we're talking about an Iron Sheik, we're going to be talking about Roman Reigns and a Seth Rollins, all these guys, but
Yeah.
especially after such a historic precedent concerning a title reign.
Yeah, it's I don't think Bruno's going to be surpassed. To be honest,
I don't see Bruno. That's a tall order. I mean, and this is
yeah.
already tall enough with having him do 3 years. But yeah, Bruno, you think about how many years, and I don't see that actually occurring. But I've been wrong. Now the Hogan does seem like it's more logical. Maybe they're
It's
actually going to go
it's.
try to break Hulk's
I
or
mean,
surpass him.
things could happen, obviously, and hopefully they won't. But it's there, isn't it? It's just a little bit further down the road, so it's possible. Before we move on to Raw, though, quickly, let's just what else happened on SmackDown, basically. So Austin Theory and Pretty Deadly teaming up. I never thought of this team. This could be a weird sort of stable going forward. I don't think it will be. They defeated the Brawling Brutes and Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch. Pretty deadly so far, basically.
Yeah, I mean they're dangerous.
I mean, have you seen much of their work in NXT? Because I haven't, to be honest. So
I've seen very little, especially speaking of Pretty Deadly, but very talented. Definitely have a different look. I know Wade Barrett does a fantastic job getting them over because he actually knew them in NXT and maybe the connection with Great Britain. But these guys are very talented. I love their finisher. It's called Spilt Milk, which is different, unusual. But pairing them with Austin Theory, it's like with Sheamus. Being aligned with Rich Holland and Butch, now reverting kind of more to Pete Dunne himself now. It's a good way to get the more experienced veterans with the talented people that have been called up from NXT that are now getting established on the main roster. It's a good way to get them over with the crowd that doesn't always get a chance to view NXT, is the way I kind of see why Austin Theory, he's a big enough star. Hey, get Pretty Deadly. Yeah. Plus, he's a United States champion, and he's good looking too. You got these other two pretty boys. Why not? It makes sense. So
when I saw them together, there's something there. It just makes sense, like you've already said. And it's also nice for an NXT talent to come up and not to have to face Dolph Ziggler or The Miz. Mainly Dolph Ziggler. So it's nice for them to come in and do a bit.
I know poor Ziggler.
Team, but yeah, poor Ziggler. So many losses to NXT people. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows defeat Hit Row with AJ Styles getting involved after hitting the phenomenal forearm on took out Top Dollar, isn't it? They call him. So yeah.
Top Dollar. I can never sound cool. I know it ends in an A, but I'm sorry. I still say dollar. I'm not hip enough. What can I say?
What do you mean you're not hip enough? Of course you are. Don't be silly. And also, I've just noticed as well, you said you were going to wear your Bret Hart t-shirt last week. I see a New York. What's that, a New York?
Well, it's Mets. Yeah, I'm
Mets.
doing baseball. I've got to watch the Bret Hart shirt. I'm going to wear it. I know. That's a swerve. I'm just going to say it's a swerve. That's my excuse.
You'll save it for the year episode when I'm not here. Basically, is what you'll do to annoy Si.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
You got the Bret Hart guy and the Shawn Michaels.
The Shawn Michaels. The Shawn Michaels guy, right?
Bianca Belair blindsided Asuka on the rampway after an addition of Grayson Waller effect. I'm waiting for Grayson Waller to get in the ring. I enjoyed the Grayson Waller effect concept. I think it's quite good. Again, I only saw a little bit of what he was doing down in NXT, but he's an entertaining guy. But I would like to see him in the ring. I'd actually like the idea, not that they've gone there, but I was thinking about it, of Grayson Waller teaming with LA Knight maybe. They've got very similar.
They would make a formidable team. Yeah, they both can get annoying. Yeah, but in a good way, because you're not supposed to like them. And Grayson Waller's got the persona. He's got personality. He's got all the intangibles. He's very talented. I do enjoy this segment, the Waller effect, or maybe it's his full name, the Grayson Waller effect. But I've actually got a chance to see him in the ring, and the guy can go. He's like LA Knight. He's very talented. Not to compare, because LA Knight's got more years experience, and they're on two different kind of parallels currently, regarding their careers. But respectfully, Grayson Waller, I see why he got drafted and called up, because there's a lot that's still left that they desire. That from a creative standpoint, you could do so much. You can see him getting under the skin like he did with AJ Styles, and kind of doing a Miz thing, but
Yeah,
in a newer way.
yeah. I want to see Grayson Waller and LA Knight sort of be those two annoying guys together, but they're both good in the ring as well, so they can back it up. So I would like to see that maybe down the line. Be interesting. Again, that's me just fantasy booking
No, it
right
would.
now. I think that's be pretty cool. Zelina Vega defeated Lacey Evans, and Zelina Vega is going to go on to Money in the Bank in the women's side of things. LA Knight actually defeated Montez Ford. I'm not going to lie. When I saw that match come up, I thought Montez was going to get this single push that we've all been waiting for. But this is quite a good way because LA Knight, as we discussed off air, is getting more and more reactions every week, and I do like I like this character, even though I'm not supposed to. He's cool, so I think he's starting to become more.
He's very just popular. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
actually he's growing on me more and more too. So you can imagine the fans, like to your point, the reactions are getting more positive. He's definitely that. That's why that word over comes, into play here. And man, him and Montez Ford, a pretty solid match. I get why a lot of people were skeptical of LA not getting the one qualifying for Money in the Bank. But at the same time, I think creative has just been so high on LA Knight from what we hear, at least the speculation. And it's proven to be true because, I mean,
yeah,
here he goes winning. But I get the other side of it because we saw Xavier Woods where he would get beat. Nothing against Xavier Woods, but come on, LA Knight is becoming such a great commodity for WWE and what he's been able to do on that roster. You got to keep pushing this guy. And eventually, let's go back. Let's revisit when we were talking about, or actually people were getting mad about Austin Theory's use. And now look at where Austin Theory is. And this
yeah.
was under Triple H's direction. Maybe that's just a little illustration of how LA Knight needed to be elevated. Sometimes you got to take the losses. It's not always about the victories. I'm just trying to look at different perspectives
That
of
makes
how
sense.
you go into these
Yeah,
things. Right.
yeah. Wins and losses, I think, ultimately should count, but there are times where a loss can be a win, and a win can be a loss. So I know it's very ambiguous, but it's true. So
I get what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, I don't. We don't. Oh, I'm going to put them up on the screen now. But these are the people that have qualified for their respective Money in the Bank. So we got Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ali Knight, which we've already discussed. This week on Raw, Becky and Zoe Stark went on. So we've got Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, and Becky Lynch so far. And I believe, how many are they doing? 5 or 6? I can't remember how many they're doing in the actual Money in the Bank ladder matches. It's normally 6, isn't it? I think
I'm not certain, but yeah, 6 sounds
5 or 6.
correct. But once again, yeah, I
They haven't
trust you.
actually, yeah, they haven't actually announced the matches, in fairness, so they're just kind of happening as they're happening, So I don't know whether there's going to be any more. There's nothing on that one. So I think they were advertising what was going to happen actually on WWE.com a moment ago, so I could have a look. To be fair,
That's what's nice is you do have Google and other search engines where if you're needing, pardon me, to find out information, it's right at your fingertips. I mean,
yeah. So we have Santos Escobar faces Mustafa Ali this week on SmackDown for the Money Bank qualifying match, and also Michin takes on Damage Control's Bailey in Money in the Bank, and also
those are some interesting matchups.
yeah, Butch goes head to head with Baron Corbin in a Money in the Bank qualifying match as well. Now Baron Corbin, I did see actually had a victory on NXT this past week, I think, or I saw a video.
No, he did.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much. To be honest, I don't know whether there was anything else left for SmackDown. To be honest,
Maybe NXT is where Corbin and Ali can,
yeah.
be elevated again by going back there, and then since they're free agents, and heard Dana Brooke made an appearance, so it's very fascinating what they're doing with this whole draft scenario, how it's playing out. Because you forget they can show up on NXT. Braun Breaker called out Seth Rollins, so I don't know.
Oh, did he? I just see. I don't watch NXT anymore. I need to start watching.
Yeah, he did. Well, I didn't really get a chance to watch it. I just happened to come across social media or a video clip, and,
okay.
had seen where he did.
I'll have to look at that. Let's check out the chat quickly before we move on. Sai here. There comes a point. Cones. Are there cones a point? I'm pretty more. He means comes. There comes a point where the WWE have to beat Roman. As brilliant as Bloodline stuff is, It'll run out of steam at some point, surely. How many people can WWE build to be realistic challenges? Yeah. Again, when it's going to be, though, I have no idea. Is a different thing.
Nobody knows, and I get his point, but I was going to tease with Son. Go, I want this to go forever. I don't want him to get beat.
Sheamus is. They need to capitalize on Sheamus. Daniel Griffin is saying, how great is it Sheamus is still getting massive pops after the feud with Gunther? Yeah, he is. They need to capitalize on that pretty soon, I think, before it again runs out of steam, as we just talked about a minute ago. I assume Sai is talking
Sheamus
about...
is another good one.
Yeah, I'm assuming Sai is talking about challenges, possibly, for Roman here. So Drew, Sammy, Cody, Orton, if he comes back. I'd love it if Orton came back, to be honest. I can't wait to hear that. I'm hoping we do. I know we talked about it a few weeks ago about possible retirement. I'm hoping that's not true.
I'm hopeful as well. I think Randy Orton, talk about a rivalry with Randy and Roman, and haven't they met before? But think about the importance. Wait a minute,
exactly.
Sean should be the guy.
Yeah.
Sean should be the guy to be. Maybe Brett needs to come back. Maybe Bret Hart, because we've had enough Sean. He's getting in NXT. Just leave him down there. I like Shawn Michaels, but come on, I'm gonna have to wear the Bret Hart shirt at least when Side's back on. That's what I mean.
Sean should be the guy to beat Roman, apparently, according to and then. But yeah, then somebody put Dan Griffin put. Do you mean Sean Stasiak? So I don't think that's going to happen. To be fair,
well, Sean Stasiak, Stasiak could return. Are you telling me that that's a possibility? LA Knight will win. Well, there's a good chance to win Money in the Bank.
So Dan Griffin's saying he's calling his shot already. LA Knight will win Money in the Bank. I would love that. To be honest with you, as of right now, I would love that. If he did, I will be. If it changes, I'm going to have to give my predictions for the show, because obviously you and Sai should be doing it. But I think I would love LA Knight to win it. But I want to see the rest of the field before we get to lockdown in there.
Me too. I want to see who else is involved.
Fitch, Morty was leaving us, but his other cohort is Fitch is late, so I'm here to. Tyler's has such soothing tones, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I don't, mate.
I'm blushing.
I think you've got to have a strong stomach for the Morty and Fitch show, by what I'm being told. So,
really? So I better not eat lunch. Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go. There you go. Sai in the chat's warning. Don't do that to Tyler. Don't corrupt the poor guy, Morty.
Don't build up my ego too much. It's already enough, right? Okay.
I don't like where this is going. This conversation. So we'll move on from that one.
We need to move on, don't we? We need to transition to something else.
Sai saying Brett, Sean, and Roman triple threats. Maybe for the title.
Let's just bring back WCW and have Roman try to beat everybody. This Nitro and Raw. Why don't we?
Orton's comeback should be a feud with Cody when he obviously wins. See, do you know what? I actually wouldn't mind seeing this version of Cody versus Randy Orton. It would be really good.
It's another scenario that could be likely. Think about it. The history's already there to capitalize on between Randy and Cody being friends. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Just last one before we move on to Raw. Dan Griffin. I've been an LA Knight fan since the Eli Drake TNA days. It was great to see him get the recognition in WWE. I didn't see much of what he did. It was actually Sai that spoke to me about LA Knight a bit more, and I've just I was like, okay, cool, I'll watch him, and I've liked the LA Knight, and everything is amazing. Basically,
it's catchy. So. Yeah. I knew he was Eli Drake, but I still didn't get a chance or in other words, an opportunity to really appreciate his time in TNA. I did get my exposure to LA Knight was when he was called something else in the NWA too, the newer one, the new NWA before getting into NXT. So that's my exposure to LA Knight.
Yeah. I've enjoyed his work so far in WWE. I'm not going to lie.
I'm a really huge fan. I concur. I think it's been terrific.
Right, we'll move on to Raw. To get this show on the road, as they say. You didn't say we're live, pal, at the start of the show. Oh no, I forgot to mention that.
No, that's all right. Here, hey, it doesn't always have to be at the beginning. Okay, we're live, pal, and I did hear that Vince McMahon. Well, of course, it's even deeper now. May have been backstage But hey, it was in Connecticut. Of course, he might have been back there. Duh. Doesn't mean he was running things, but who knows?
Mate, in
Okay,
this day and
yeah.
age, if just because Vince is there, all right, Vince could run that
But it's enough
show.
to get people talking. Yeah.
Yeah. But Vince could run that show from the other side of the world if he wanted to. He doesn't have just because he's there doesn't mean he is. Could he be? Of course he could
He's
be.
got a control tower somewhere. It's like a villain or something.
Dude,
he's like the mustache,
we're doing the
that
show.
whole look.
Yeah, we're doing the show. I'm in the UK. You're in the States. So Vince McMahon does not have to be backstage. He could, if he wanted to change something, he could change that show from bloody Australia if he wanted to, or New Zealand.
He could do whatever he wants to. I mean, because he's still Vince McMahon. But here's just a little quick, funny example. Because everybody was saying that he was the one that wanted AJ Styles on Raw last week. So I'm thinking of Vince. Okay, Ari, we've got this merger. Let's get the phenomenal one AJ Styles in there. Oh, and where's that Maxine Dupree? Got the blonde hair. Oh, yeah, that sounds good, too. Get her with Otis. Just using some silly examples because that's how our minds work. We've heard so many impersonations of Vince. And yeah, we better talk Raw before I make this a comedy hour that doesn't go anywhere. And it's my fault.
Right, let's say Vince was in charge this week. I think Raw was a bloody... There's a couple of highlights from this Raw show that we're going to talk about now. And I think overall the show was good.
But if it's actually good and he was running it, to your point.
Oh, it must be, yeah. It must be Triple H because it was good. It must be Triple H doing it. When it's bad, it's Vince McMahon. So,
it's always Vince's problem. Okay, we're hearing he's rewriting the format. That one match, there's a certain star that's getting pushed. We know it's Vince back there in the control center in the gorilla position. It's got to be. No, it does not. And even if he is, what if it actually works out well? Give the man some credit. I know not everybody wants to give him his just due.
Because of what's happened outside of the red. Yeah, there should be a Guess Who game where every single person on the Guess Who game is just Vince McMahon.
To Si's point, hey, Vince, and hey, he could have had Brett and Sean back there. He could have had The Undertaker. I mean, he could have go, hey, listen, we're going to do another screw job. You remember when you guys did that? And Brett, you punched me in the face. Come on, let's do it again. No, it's just silly. That's how silly we get. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm even making fun of myself. It's just
there you go.
Okay.
So,
and by the way, you need a T-shirt. Go fickle yourself, just for the sake of it. There you go. I'm tired of
T-shirt.
it. Oh,
let's talk some more before you blow your top off. So. Zoe Stark, as we've already said, has made it into the Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank in London. She beat Natalya. I want to talk about this because we've been quite critical of Trish Stratus, to be fair. She's done well in the ring to a degree.
We have.
But seeing her with Zoe Stark, I think is an absolute brilliant move. And I think it's going to be something that could be really good going forward. Trish and Zoe actually turned up during Becky's match in her qualifying match against Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville looking really good in the ring as well. I am growing.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, I am growing on the Chelsea Green Sonya Deville team, even though I would have so much wanted it to be Green and Carmella because I think those two would have been amazing. But obviously, Carmella's
they had a chemistry.
And Carmella's obviously off having Corey Graves' baby. So
she's getting ready to have a baby, so she's got an excuse, legitimately. But to Sonya Deville, let's bring her up. I think it's so underrated. I mean, she is so talented, and she's not bad in the looks department, but that's for another show. But Sonya Deville is she's so versatile, and boy, now I'm making myself laugh. Si, thanks, Si. But we do appreciate your feedback. But anyways, it's just. Sonya, this mean streak, Chelsea Green, she doesn't want to be called Karen. Maybe she said that in an interview. I don't know the woman, so don't. I'm not speaking on her behalf,
funny.
But
I want to see the manager. Please.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's clever. I think it's entertaining. She does so well, and but I like this team, and of course, we saw Becky. She was going to win the match, but it's still. I like seeing that Sonya's getting this push because I think she deserves it, especially after what she's went through with this whole stalker case and coming back, and whether she's been the official or non-official of the that's making matches. Sonya has been an intricate part of what they're doing, so I'm glad to see her getting her just due because I'm a fan. Oh yeah, the MMA background. You're right. It doesn't take her much effort. Thank you, Dan Griffin. The check is in the mail. Thank you.
No, it's not.
There you go.
Um,
It's not. No,
it's
you're not getting any money. That was just a
no,
tease.
it's a
Yeah,
PayPal.
that was it. PayPal. But no, to your observation, I will say neither one of us have been high on Trish coming back, her reemergence. I do like Zoe Stark being positioned. We mentioned it on SmackDown with Austin
Yeah,
Theory and Sheamus being paired with the younger talent, and more so with Trish due to being a Hall of Famer and a couple more generations ahead of Zoe. And man, I've always been keen on Zoe Stark going back to watching her in NXT. Just the little bit I've got to see of her, she has just been just unbelievable. Just her talents. It's
yeah.
almost hard to think of the word. I mean,
Her
she's
finish,
unique.
yeah, her finish is quality as well. I quite like. It does obviously reminiscent a little bit of a GTS to a degree.
It
Kind
does.
of,
It's a variation. What do they call it? Something 360. It's a knee where she flips up the
the
opponent and she like
Z360 they
knees
call
them.
it.
Yeah, Z360. Okay.
Z360, yeah. But
I
I
was
love
going to
this.
call it the 1226 or something. I didn't know what it was. But
The W180, the WD40 or whatever you want to call it.
WDD 40 WBD. Okay, we better move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Anyway, but I like the pairing, as we've already talked about briefly. That she qualified for Money in the Bank, so and we did have an interference from a kind of an interference. They just stood on the ramp and. I thought maybe Zoe Stark was going to get involved. I assumed we'd see Becky Lynch later, but we didn't. But the pairing of the main point I want to make from it is the Zoe Stark Trish Stratus duo is really good, and I'm interested to see where it moves, where it goes forward. Really, so
Yeah, it makes you wonder where the progression exactly. I mean, what are we going to see? The more I'm almost wondering what's going to go down at Money in the Bank, and what are they going to do for SummerSlam? Because you could do a whole lot of things from this point forward to kind of building to those big events.
yeah, I mean
Does Lita come
Becky
back?
Lynch.
Does she return?
Well, I was waiting for that to be honest. But Becky has never been Money in the Bank winner. Does she need it? Not really. Will she win it? I have no idea because again, the playing field's not laid out yet enough to know. All the pieces aren't in the place.
It's hard
for
to
us kind
judge.
of go. Yeah, so there could be an absolute corker still to qualify for this match. Basically, is what I'm getting at. We got to talk about this. This is probably one of the, and we talk about this guy every couple of weeks, but we got to talk about it. But Dominic Mysterio. So Cody was a guest on Miz TV this week on Raw. And I'm not always a big fan of the Miz TV segments, really. I like Miz, but I'm not, sometimes they're good. But they always end up in a fight, 9 times out of 10. But
Yeah, they do.
But Cody's obviously sat there, and Miz is like, how, you're stupid for challenging Brock whenever he turns back up off his holiday. But then Miz introduced Dominic Mysterio, of all people, because he's a second-generation superstar as well. You got a lot in common. But every time Dominic tries to bring that microphone to his face, the crowd just go, for the lack of a better way of saying it, absolutely
they don't let
mental.
him speak. Yeah.
They don't let him speak at all. Then we have Cody trying to offer a chair to Rhea Ripley as well to be gentlemanly, and she's like, "Nah, jog on."
I want to thank Dominic for allowing Rhea to accompany him and Mommy to see her. That was just worth the segment. I've just got to be real. I mean, it was.
It's worth seeing
but
Dominic if Rhea's with him is what you're getting at, basically.
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly. I do love Dominic, and I'll tell you, people are really seeing my true colors. Are they not? They're going to go, okay, what kind of co-host you got here? But anyways, I was going to say, yeah, Dominic getting that heat, it was astounding. I mean, like you said, they're not letting him talk at all in the microphone, and him in that exchange with Cody. Miz is always up to something. He's orchestrating the plan. Credit to Corey Graves on commentary for the analogy that he's making me seem like I know what I'm talking about because I'm still in his lines. There you go.
It just he doesn't have to do a lot. People just hate him. They want this Dominic Mysterio to be punched in the face, and fans don't care who's going to punch him in the face as long as somebody punches him in the face.
And don't forget his prison sentence. I mean, he was in prison.
Yeah. The whole 15 minutes.
This guy's went through hard times. And you know what was funny? You think about Dustin yeah, I was thirsty after seeing Rhea Ripley. You're right, but the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes was, the Hard Times promo. I thought that's what Dom was, talking about. That's what was kind of funny. He was talking about Hard Times in prison. I thought we were talking about that old Dusty Rhodes promo, Hard Times, because you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Cody in the ring. That shows you where my mind goes. I go to the territories, then back to Monday Night Raw. It's all over. It's
Yeah.
scatterbrain. People want to learn the truth. It's nuts.
But going forward, if you haven't seen it, ladies, just give it a watch. It was a brilliant segment on Raw, and the crowd were absolutely. Was it Hartford, Connecticut, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, it was Hartford, Connecticut, and
that's it. Yeah,
the crowd. Give them a lot of credit. They were very loud, and in the moments it needed it for the program, and it was impressive. It really does add to the quality of a show if the fans are into it, if they're really
yeah,
enjoying the process.
yeah, definitely. But going forward, I think we might see Dominic versus Cody going forward because anybody, like I said, anybody could go against Cody. Me and you could go against Cody, and if we beat it, not against Cody, sorry, against Dominic, me and you could go against Dominic Mysterio. As long as we punch him in the face, the crowd will love us for it because they hate Dominic so much.
They will.
The guy can't even speak at
And
the moment. It's like Vicky Guerrero all over again. Because with Dominic, he's the way he's treated his dad, the way he talks about his dad, his hair, the mullet, the Eddie thing going on, the mummy thing, the Latino,
the similarities to it, to
so
Eddie
many
Guerrero.
things.
Yeah.
And this kid doesn't have to do anything. He can just walk into an arena and get absolutely booed the shit out of. But in terms of Cody's story going forward, why not Dominic versus Cody at Money in the Bank? Because we can have Dominic be even more of a pain in the ass because he's calling Cody a deadbeat dad for not being at home with his daughter, like he's called his own father Ray. But if we have Dominic Dominic versus Cody at Money in the Bank, crowd will love it. But if it happens, Tyler, I'm going to call it now, Dominic to go over, and this is my thinking.
Okay.
Dominic wins because Brock Lesnar turns up and beats the
I was wondering. You got to have the Beast return because Cody's been calling him out, and you've got to have that the third encounter at SummerSlam in Detroit.
And that would lead into SummerSlam perfectly. And I do think it needs to be, for me personally, I've already said, I think I said it last week on the show or the week before, when we have the Cody Brock again, I feel like it should be a gimmick type match. Now, I'm thinking Last Man Standing after what we saw at Night of Champions with Cody kept getting up.
I want it to be the coal miner's glove. The old. I was going to be funny instead of making it seem like it's a great stipulation. Let's do the old territory thing where it's they're going to have to go up a pole or something. I mean, let's see it.
But yeah, if it happens, which I think it might, I think Dominic should go over at Money in the Bank via outside interference with Brock, Rhea, mainly Brock. I think in terms of Cody, So
you need to build up Dominic again too, because he lost to his dad, and what a big victory if he could win, no matter how you slice it, over somebody like the caliber of Cody.
Yeah, but because of the interference, he can then brag about the fact that I beat Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, blah blah blah. I beat him, but we all know that Brock got involved, and so it's that classic thing. So it gives Dominic an extra layer to be hated even more now because he's going to be bragging.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to even say a word now, especially if he's able to accomplish that. Think about the fans are just not going to let him speak at all.
There you go. They will hate I'll hate it, but I think it's brilliant TV at the same time. So now there's I'm going to have to.
It's a good way to grab us. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, 100%. Now, I am going to go to the main event of Raw because it was a good match, and I think it's worth mentioning. But obviously, World Heavyweight Championship was on the line for the first time. Seth Rollins defends against Damian Priest, and he actually defeated him via pinfall. The opening segment to Raw was really good for a change. I wasn't bored by it at all. Sometimes you watch these opening segments and you kind of like, yeah, just get on with it now.
You're kind of ready for a sleep moment.
Yeah, I'm ready for a match is what I'm ready for, Tyler, to be honest, but we don't get it because you got to build the evening up, and I get that. But ultimately, the interaction between Seth, Finn, and Damian Priest was brilliant. Seth saying, let's have a one-on-one match. Let's not let your cronies get involved. Finn's like, oh no, we're not going to do that, and then Damien's like, no, we'll do that. I'm all right with it. Finn's face was like, how dare you? We're supposed to
He
be a
didn't
team,
like
or what?
it.
He didn't like it at all. Then Damien Priest does the comment of, well, you're going to have one of the shortest reigns as world champion in history. And then Seth comes back. I knew it was coming, but Seth come back with, well, pointing to Finn Balor, well, it may be short, but I'm paraphrasing now, but it will be short, but it won't be as short as his, pointing at Finn Balor, and then walking out and having the last laughs of Finn having a tough night verbally, really, from his own teammate,
Finn's
and then Seth
is in trouble. Yeah. No, I thought the segment was fine. I did enjoy the lines part of me. There's plural and S there. I got to go back to school all of a sudden, all over again. Can't even speak English. Why should I take a foreign language class? Anyways, to go back to the point, Seth Rollins, I just want to see him be more aggressive. It's starting to grow on me, this whole, new persona, but that's the only thing I have to kind of disagree. I thought the segment was pretty good in the one-liners. This whole Seth thing, laughing. I love how the crowd sings along with him. That's fun, but I want to see some of the Seth of old, which does come out. I get you've got to evolve with different characters. It's just that's my only critique. If I'm going to be quite frank, is let's see more of an aggressive edge to Seth Rollins, a little more, which I think we get in the ring, but sometimes this presentation is lacking in some regards. But I'm with you. I think the line to Finn was classic, and Damien. It's really making you wonder: are we going to see him be the good guy? Is he breaking away from Judgment Day due to all of this between he and Finn, and the way Finn reacted?
I think eventually that will happen. I don't think it's quite there yet, but you can tell. I think that's planting the seeds for down the line, quite possibly. I think ultimately, Seth will merge into a heel at some point again with this persona. At the moment, people are behind him, obviously, and they like the fact that he's world champion. So,
They definitely support him.
Yeah, there you
And
go, 100%. So
I would love to see a more villainous Seth Rollins. I think maybe that's what's missing, and I need to get the bigger picture where he's not. And I have to kind of take steps back. But if I'm going to be real, I guess I got so spoiled on the Seth, even with the blonde highlights, the authority kind of Seth Rollins too.
the buy-in, the sellout, whatever you want to
Of
call
course,
it.
he's still got the blonde highlights now. I guess I can't keep up with their hair. What am I, his hairstylist? I can't remember.
Well, but yeah, I know. But the match itself, I thought was really good. I liked the match. At no point did I think. I say this right going into it. At no point did I think Seth was going to lose the World Championship. A week later or whatever it is. But as we talked about last week, I need that. Like with the, I need the belief of it could happen.
You need this suspension of
yes.
your belief,
yeah,
of disbelief.
Disbelief, yes, yeah. So when this match was going on, there was a moment of he's not gonna win it. Surely he's not gonna win it. Surely, and there were moments of it that I thought maybe, and I like the fact that it did that to me. So because otherwise you sit there going, well, Seth's gonna win. So because if you think that, there's no point in watching it.
It seems predictable.
Yeah. Whereas as the match went on, I'm thinking, what's going to happen here? I thought maybe Finn might get involved and inadvertently get Damien disqualified, which means Seth would retain via disqualification. That didn't happen, but it kind of did happen because Finn did get involved, even though his brother in Damien said, "Can you not?" Basically. But the match with the shoulder injury into the barricade, which again is a callback to Finn Balor, back when he won the Universal Championship the first time. The way Damien sold it, I think it was this match. I wasn't sure. I wasn't able to clarify. Somebody in the chat might be, if they saw it, might be able to let me know.
Yeah, help us out there in the chat room.
But I'm pretty sure Damien...
it was a nice callbacks.
Yeah. But Damien Priest, I'm pretty sure, used LA Knight's finisher at one point, or a version of it. So I'm like, really? Can you imagine like Triple H using the rock
I did
bottom?
catch it.
I must have missed. Well, you could kind of call it a face plant or a bulldog type thing, I guess. But it reminded me of LA Knight's finish to a good degree. But other than that, the way he sold the arm and the shoulder, the fact that he hit deep six, what does he call it? Deep six, Is it called his finish or his Deep South, or I can't remember what it's called
Uh,
now? The choke
it,
slam,
it's
basically.
Deep Six. Yeah, it's a choke slam.
It's a choke
South of
slam.
Heaven. Is that what it?
South of Heaven.
I'm
That's
probably.
what it, yeah. That's no. That's
I
right. That's
think
right.
Deep Six is Corbin's. It's
That's yeah. Deep
similar.
Six is
It's
the yeah yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when he hit that, and I love the fact that one, he was selling the shoulder still, and two, the fact that he didn't, because he was selling the shoulder and it hurt him when he did it. He had to then. It took him a moment to cover Seth, so that gives Seth ample time to kick out of it. So it gives it validity a little bit. Because otherwise, I hate it when you hit a super kick and you go straight for a cover, and they kick out. Do the super kick by all means, or do a DDT by all means, but give yourself about a half a second to 2 seconds to crawl for the cover. That way, when the person kicks out, it's a lot more believable. That's one of my gripes. So that, but yeah, I love this whole
Yeah, I think
match.
that's always going to be our gripes because you see it too often. Everything's been prostituted, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just what the finishers overall, and I get it. It's the way things evolve, change, even with pro wrestling. However, I'm with you. That's one thing I'll agree too. Is I want to see them selling. I want them showing me pain on their face, their expressions, like you said with Damian Priest's
Yeah,
shoulder or arm. However, you want to look at the specificities of the part of the anatomy, so to speak. I want to see more of the threshold of what they're having to endure and go through, and that goes back to the word pain. And show us as the audience. Come on, that's what makes wrestling. That's part of the story as well. And if you're just rushing and going through it, it's like anything. If I'm going to paint a picture and try to even write something, if I'm going to rush it and I'm not putting thought behind it, or at least using logic or common sense, then people are going to see through it. They're not going to buy into it. So it's the same even when you're thinking of wrestling, the action, how they're betraying it.
there you go. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we. That's a whole podcast in itself, isn't it? About selling and the
It is.
reaction to things. So
I mean, yeah, we could do one, or you could have somebody else. I mean, that's what's very interesting when we're having these tops, pardon me, of conversations. I mean, you never know where it could go. That's what's so fun about doing in the corner.
yeah.
Benny Mac. I mean, even I learned something, which is saying a lot. It's
I learn nothing on a daily basis, so I probably should by now. But there you go. Before we
nah,
get to
quit beating yourself up.
before we get to
Here,
if I
make
do
the
beat
tag.
if I do beat myself up, then I'll sell it. Um,
You at least make us believe, right?
exactly. A couple of mentions just quickly to see what else happened on Raw. Really, basically, before we get to our I think the match of the night. To be honest, I think both we were in agreement
And
with
it,
that.
it has to be the match of the night.
But Indus beat down Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin for their scheduled match, so it didn't actually lead to a match. Indus have been basically beating. They're enhanced. It's enhanced talents. I don't like saying it, but it is.
Yeah, just jobbers. Yeah, and I hate to
But
even say it, but I mean that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
But obviously, Cedric Alexander and Sean Benjamin were not like local competitors. They were, but the match didn't even take place. It was just an absolute beatdown. Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura was actually a really good match. I enjoyed it, but it ended in a no contest after Bronson Reed ran and attacked them both after an altercation backstage.
A pretty good affair.
Bronson Reed, I think we've yet to see the best of this dude. To be honest, I think again,
Yeah, and that's what's scary. This guy, we thought or we think we've seen, all of his potential, and he's not even tapped to the full dimension of it. I mean that is so promising when
yeah,
you're referring to Bronson Reed.
yeah, 100%. And Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeated Katana Chance, is it, and Caden Carter,
Yeah,
who have come up from NXT. Not as I don't know much about the Chance and Carter, to be fair, because I didn't watch NXT, but it wasn't a simple victory, I don't think, for Ronda and Shayna. It was actually a pretty good. It wasn't a long match, but
no,
it
it
was a pretty
wasn't.
good match. They actually got their stuff in, didn't they, Chance and Carter?
Oh, they did. I think, and I enjoyed that it was not a squash match, and it may be barely a little bit of offense from these, from both Chance and Carter against Rousey and Baszler. And I liked how the logic of the women's tag team champions when we're talking about Baszler and Rousey. I like how they engaged with Chance and Carter because they had to resort to the athletic part of their arsenal. They had to, of course, use the quickness. I mean, it was pretty much the elementary stuff, but it was very good because
Yeah.
you got these two submission type MMA. Um, that's where they excel at when talking about Rouse and Baszler. I don't mean to sound repetitive; it's just the way it goes. But I mean, these two, yeah, they let them shine, and I think that's important. A lot of times, I mean, squash matches are good because, in other words, you're shining up the person that is beating you up. But in this case, you don't want to bring these ladies up from NXT and just automatically make them not feel important. So I think you brought up something very vital. They had to let these girls show what they could do to the audience on Raw because remember, we don't even get a chance to watch all of NXT or any episodes. So imagine what the
Mm.
audience, the fans in the arena, the people viewing on USA. That's why it's so crucial to show what both Carter and Chance can do against, I mean, women the caliber of Baszler and Rousey.
No, you've nailed it 100%. Yeah. So again, it's nice for them to. You either expect them to win or they're going to lose. But like again, they had enough going on in that match, and we saw a little bit of what they can do. So they could be potential. It could be a good run for them, hopefully, going forward for Carter and Chance. So hopefully, it is again. That's my real
Yeah,
first
I
exposure to
like
them.
what we
So
saw from them.
yeah, of course you're not going to beat Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler when they've just become tag team champions. Of course not. Otherwise, they want to bring a bit. Well, according to Ronda and Shayna, they want to bring some prestige to it a little bit because unfortunately, the women's tag team division, especially in the last 3-4 months, has been very up and down and very all over the place. Then we had injuries happen with Liv, and
Yeah.
those bouts have just
Consistency's been a problem.
yeah, and the bouts have just literally bounced and bounced and bounced from tag team to tag team because maybe they haven't had a chance to. I think we are starting to see the women's division get a little bit more time now. Not it still needs a bit more work though, mate. To be honest, from my point of view.
Well, it does for me as well, but I heard a lot of people have a negative reaction. I know we spoke about this, I think last week, maybe a few weeks ago, with regards to Baszler and Rousey. But to me, they legitimate, they make it legitimate is the word I was looking for there, as far as what they can do. You don't have to like their presentation, but as far as in ring quality and how they can work with the different styles, in case in point with Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. I mean, think about the possibilities there. I would love to see them hold on to these tag titles for a long time, enough time to where it establishes an importance back to the tag titles.
Yeah, perfect. Um, Probably the match of the night. To be fair, Gunther versus Kevin Owens. I think they did it in such a way that both men looked, even though KO took the defeat, I think it was a bloody good match, and basically Kevin Owens looked just as good in that match as Gunther does now, beating Kevin Owens. It's a good win for Gunther, even though he's had a great run with the Intercontinental Championship so far. But beating somebody like a Kevin Owens, I think, is a big win for Gunther. But this is where, like I said earlier, wins and losses. It's a big win for Gunther, but Kevin Owens still come out looking like he could, without obviously there was interference and stuff, but Kevin Owens still looks like he could be a potential challenger down the road for Gunther. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it made perfect sense. I totally understand where you're coming from. I think it was a good way to polish them both up without them, looking like they were positioned in a bad way because you have the Intercontinental Champion in Gunther. You've got Kevin Owens, who is also a tag team champion, undisputed, by the way, with Sami Zayn. So I liked, even if you didn't like the backstage segments as good, what we got in the ring made up for it. I thought it was good. You got to have some interference. You got Imperium. I liked how Sammy kept his distance, but he got involved when he needed to because he saw, who was it? Was it Eichner or Kaiser on the apron that were
I
Zane that
think
spot?
I think Kaiser, but I could They both got
Okay.
involved ultimately, didn't they? They both got involved
Well,
with it
they
ultimately.
did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just
So
trying to remember a specific part, and I knew that
yeah,
was
yeah,
going to cause me some trouble trying to recall.
yeah.
But uh, but man, to see Gunther do that big drop kick, to see Kevin Owens be able to do the stuff he does with the cannonball, and just the pair of kicks back and forth. Normally, Gunther can dominate his opposition, but Kevin Owens has enough size and it's believable that it was not the case. That's why it looked so even, and I think that's what made the match stand out.
Yeah, it was a really good match, and again, it wasn't the main event of Raw at all, but it was a good match. I like Kevin Owens' logic of the unwritten rule: you're not supposed to appear until somebody mentions your name. That was more like in the ring last week. I kind of find it quite funny. I did enjoy last week when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were on commentary. I forgot to mention it last week.
I thought they did a great job. I want to see more of them on commentary.
I thought
Actually,
they were brilliant last week on commentary. Actually, yes, it was really good. I mean, like I said, overall, yeah, I'm not going to say if we were going to give it a grade, I wouldn't give it like an A plus or anything, but I would definitely give it a strong B or maybe even a like a C plus. It was a good Raw overall, to be fair.
yeah, it was a pretty good Raw, and that's been one of the better matches going back to Gunther and Kevin Owens that we've seen in a long time. Granted, Seth and Damian Priest was awful good too, but yeah, not a bad show. Even if Vince was backstage, pretty good
Well,
show.
if he was, then
Yeah,
he's done a
yeah.
good job this week, hasn't he?
No, I
Signing the
mean, yeah. Let's try to be positive. Yeah, even if he was in control, he did a nice job.
yeah.
What was
Uh,
Size saying?
WWE has struggled with the tag wrestling for years, and women's wrestling is still relatively new for WWE. When talking being booked seriously, that the tag division always seems to be like an afterthought. Yeah, and I would say, like you said, Saeem,
It's hard to argue.
before the women's one came. That's why I mean, at one point we had a World Tag Team Championships on Raw. We had WWE Tag Team Championships on SmackDown. Ultimately, they became unified because the tag division was like so thin they couldn't do a lot with it. But when I started watching it back in 2000, the tag division was hot as hell. It was like, then with Edge, Christian, Matt Hardy, the Hardys, sorry, Dudleys, the New Age Outlaws, then like Road Dogg and X
They
Pac,
had a
and
deep roster.
yeah, it was really good. So, but yeah, it has struggled. I think that obviously the Usos having those tag bouts for so long and the opponents they had some brilliant matches and have brought, again, I wouldn't say the tag division is necessarily that deep at the moment, again, male and female, but the way they've done it with the bloodline stuff is obviously elevated everybody that was involved with it, to be honest. Sai in the chat, Gunther is amazing. Guide to beat Roman lads. Thoughts? Oh, okay.
I could see maybe Gunther getting, once he
It's
gets his Intercontinental title reign out of his system. Yeah.
something was put forward to me today by a mate, and it was, what if Cody does win the World Heavyweight Championship, has a couple of title defenses, ultimately ends up against Roman again, so we have another unification? And I'm like, I don't necessarily want to see another unification. To be honest, we've had them when we had that very first one with the WCW or World Title, then the the World Title, the WWE title, when Jericho became the first undisputed champion.
Correct.
Amazing moment. If you had Kurt Angle, Stone Cold, Rock, and Jericho, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody thought Jericho was winning that tournament. They thought Rock or
Not from those names.
no, Rock, Austin on an outside shot, Angle. Jericho was a no. When he won it, boom, amazing. Then we had the unification match between Cena and Randy Orton, I believe. I forget what year, 2015, something like that. Maybe 2016, I'm not 100% sure. So the title's been unified so many times. So, as we've already discussed, Tyler, again, things could change, and I think, we'll have to wait. But it
I
feels
think going
because of
back to, yeah, go
go on.
ahead.
I was just going to say quickly,
No,
going back to the Cody story that we've had. His story began before this world title was re-released, essentially. So it would feel somewhat, lack of a better word, as we've already discussed on the show many times, cheap for him to win the world title. So it feels like we need to have I don't know whether he wins it, but he definitely needs to have another shot against Roman. Cody does, I believe. Sorry, what were you going to say?
yeah, I think he's worthy. Going back to what you were saying about Cody, just to piggyback off the comments about the tag team division, I do agree. that's what I mean. It brings me some comfort knowing that Ronda and Shayna are the women's tag team champions because it's at least a new tag team, and it's a good way to make it seem vital again. So that's all I was going to say. And the Usos did elevate it, especially with the Bloodline just
Yeah,
concurring there. But it's so tough because maybe with Pretty Deadly, some of the NXT teams and the call ups also from NXT on the women's side, hopefully maybe interjecting some new blood into the some of the veteran order of talent will really be an assist. That's what I'm hoping. So
yeah.
that's all I wanted to add just briefly.
Do you, do they split the tag titles eventually if they've got a deeper roster and got more people coming up and have a good tag division on Raw and SmackDown? Do they do Kevin Owens and Sammy drop one set of the belts, or do we have a new set of tag teams? I read a rumor apparently more titles are coming, allegedly. Again, that's on the webosphere. Whether it's true is a different thing. But what happens with the tag
Uh,
division? You know, any thoughts on that one?
no, well, there is some thoughts. It's definitely interesting if they bring more titles. To me, if you're going to have Roman on one show and Seth, then it's not illogical to have maybe a SmackDown Tag Team Champions or a Raw side. But then you're going to confuse more people, at least certain sections or fragments of the audience. So
Yeah,
it's really it's a tough question. It's not easy to answer, and I like the ones that make you think. They challenge your thinking. But whether it's logical or not, it doesn't matter. Maybe to WWE and that universe, not just the fans, they're kind of rewriting things, and maybe that's the way we have to look at it. Because hey, I
yeah.
like
That's a
traditional
good point.
rules. I like some old school terminology, but let's face it, we're in a new era, and a lot of people are not wanting to adjust with the times. But hey, I can see it going both ways, actually.
Yeah, it means well. Again, I think you're right there. I think you touched on something really clever there. That of the they're rebuilding, they're rejigging things, but it's taking time to do it properly or try to do it properly as you can. Just going back quickly to what we were talking
Yeah.
about Vengeance back in 2001 when it came to the first undisputed championship. Sai saying at the time it felt like Austin Rock was going to be the final, and that made sense. I don't disagree with that at all. Even I thought that. Like I said, Rock or Austin were going to win it, or an outside shot angle. Jericho was not even in my once Jericho won the world title from The Rock. I honestly thought Austin was going to be the winner of that. I 100%. But yeah, there
Well,
we
and
go, man.
see the beauty of the story going back to Jericho because you had so many of these guys that were the WWF guys or WWE now that Jericho was this guy coming in from the outside. They accepted him, but you didn't really know if they were going to push him or have him become the world champion. And I think that's the beauty of the storytelling that wrestling goes hand in hand with. So I think it's a tremendous recollection to go back and use that illustration of Jericho
Yeah,
winning the big gold belt and getting to defeat those names because boy did his stock and equity ever go up after that happened.
yeah. I think they got a bit of a raw deal, no pun intended there, because obviously they had to follow Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania 18, which we spoke about.
Oh yeah, which would be tough to
Yeah,
their
yeah,
defense. That was such a moment because Rock was originally the babyface, but he had to end up being more the heel because the crowd was dictating it, and they were even though Hogan started out heel being the Hollywood Hulk Hogan character from WCW that came into WWE. They made him more the hero again because there was still
yeah,
that nostalgia. They were in Toronto. It goes back to probably him and Warrior back in the Sky Dome even though as over as Rock was, they were both
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
popular.
It was weird to see Rock being booed, to be honest, for me at the time.
It
But
no, it was because it wasn't like he was even trying to be the heel that time, but
no,
that's how quick. Even, I mean, that's what's astonishing. You're so
yeah,
correct.
but yeah. But there we go. I mean, SmackDown, as we've already mentioned, but the main story we want from SmackDown this Friday coming will be where does Jey Uso slot in now? Is he going to stay with Roman and Solo, or is he going to? What's going to happen now? It's going to be interesting TV again, and I think the numbers were really good last week for SmackDown. I don't know the exact number, but I remember reading. I can't remember what it was. I read it. Apparently, the numbers were
Doesn't
really good.
surprise me with all of what you're laying out and what we're witnessing with the bloodline. so to speak. And yeah, I don't really know where he's going to go. Remember, Heyman too, also on Raw. I don't know if that was a pre-tape segment. It could have been where he was saying to get you to watch SmackDown from the audience on Raw to get them to flip and go over to on Fox on Friday night to see, hey, what Jey Uso's ultimatum? What is his decision going to be? Is he going to join his brother Jimmy or fall in line and acknowledge the tribal chief? Man, it's very intriguing. I mean, I'm with you
Yeah.
to see where this is going to go.
I'm going to call it now and say, let's look at it from a business standpoint very quickly. When you want to sell tickets,
Okay.
you don't have Jay turn on Roman on SmackDown. No offense to SmackDown on Raw. When it happens, it will be on a PLE or a pay-per-view, as we used to call them. It will be on it'll be a SummerSlam or it'll be a Survivor Series, whatever it will be. It will be on a big paper. It won't be on a SmackDown. Not to say big moments don't happen on these shows, but they do. But with this and the amount of effort that's gone into this storyline, it's going to happen on a PLE, is what I'm getting at. I mean, does that make sense?
It feels so special that you want to save it. You
Yeah.
don't want to waste a segment. No, I respect that point of view for sure. It's hard to argue it or that. Pardon me. I was just going to say, for size sake, for Money in the Bank, let's see Brat and Sean, maybe number 10. I was just wanting to tease him real before we, exit the show. I mean, I have to, now that this is becoming a thing, this is giving me more steam.
Let's
Barry Windham, I would love. Hey, if Bray Wyatt comes back and Uncle Howdy, hey, Barry's a kin. Let's Roman versus Barry. Hey, Barry versus Roman, Barry in his prime with respect to Wyndham would be great. I mean, that would be a great match. But it would be remarkable to see Wyndham and Roman.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, WrestleMania. Now listen, what I've done to side. Now we're getting off on different topics, but it's fun. It's
yeah. But yeah, the Jay thing doesn't happen on SmackDown, does it? Let's face it, it's going to happen. I think he'll fall in line. It's going to happen. You want that to happen at a pay-per-view, don't you? You don't want to.
Yeah, it makes it feel big, and
maybe
you want to see it on.
I mean, it's not showing it here. It's not been announced. As I said about the Money in the Bank on the men's side of things, does Jimmy enter Money in the Bank? Does Jay enter Money in the Bank? One of the Usos with that Money in the Bank briefcases, does Solo enter it? And so I don't know whether they need that necessarily, but imagine Jimmy winning the Money in the Bank. I don't think if he did, I don't think it'd be successful. But what a thing to be for Jimmy to cash in on Roman, on his former,
that would be fantastic.
It'd be a good way,
and that would be a one way to get revenge.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I think, like I said, Jay's loyalty. Either we have a week where it's stored and we don't have Jay there, and Roman gives him like one last chance to do it the next week. But the way it's advertised,
and they've done that before.
Of course, yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, in terms of Jay turning on Roman, business sense says to me, you do not do it on a SmackDown or a Raw. You do it on a pay-per-view event, is what I'm getting at.
BenNny Mac's Business Sense Podcast. There you go.
Or
put it on a shirt.
Sense.
Yeah. No, I've never had sense. So.
Well, I wonder what you're going to say then. Never had sense. I like it. Mankind Tyler T-shirt coming up. I've never had sense with a.
I would love it. The mask, yeah, or the mask. I wish I could do a Mankind impersonation. Now I could do his manager Paul Bearer, but unfortunately I can't do the Mankind.
I know you're in the chat, mate. The T-shirt idea right there, Tyler. With the Mankind mask on a T-shirt would be hilarious.
Could you imagine Paul Bearer going, "Oh, Mankind, please get the Undertaker. Oh, the mouse, yes. Oh, yes.
That's a brilliant impression.
You're not my son. You're Kane's my son, but you could also be a stepson. Get the DNA test, Vince McMahon." Oh, yeah. No, I'm just teasing. And I haven't really done the Bear because I didn't want to overdo it. But I love Bill Moody, Percy Pringle, Paul Bear. He was great. I mean, all those creepy characters.
Yeah. Sorry. Sai on the chat says he's on the T-shirt idea. So maybe we might see a Mankind Tyler T-shirt.
No surprise. Forward. Yeah, Sai's, he's the creative like you, he's very creative. I
He's
lack
good, man.
creativity. Because the go fickle yourself, here's a sidebar. That was BenNny's idea. I may have said it, but then that's when you had the brilliant idea. Hey, we got to put it on a T-shirt, and that's why I have one. I'll be wearing it on more episodes. Just so I have to wash it, and it's like the Bret Hart shirt. We could really make that a storyline. What happened to the T-shirts? What's going on?
Yeah, again, that was all over the Austin Theory stuff, if I remember rightly, as well, with people
It
moaning about.
was that was
Yeah,
Austin
yeah. So
Theory
yeah,
brought that. That's what we were talking about. How people were buried, and because I'm guilty of it too. I'd have to tell myself this because I've done it too as a wrestling fan. But nicely, whether nicely or aggravatedly, I would say go fickle yourself, and then you have a nice day. Speaking of Mick Foley, there you go.
there you go. Well, episode 56 of In the Corner, the second live show here on SJP World Media. Thanks to everybody that jumped in on the chat and everything. Tyler, again, always a pleasure to chat to you, my friend. Where can we
Man,
see?
it's always fun.
I appreciate it. You've got a new show, I believe, as well. You're doing something new over there. Is it Wrestle Buddy, I believe? You're doing your new round.
Yeah, Wrestle Buddy. Yeah, Round the Table Wrestling Scoops. We're actually going to be recording episode 7 tomorrow. So, and I think they are normally released on the following Monday. So look for that. Also doing thank you, son. But also doing the weekly report over at Wrestle Buddy, and not to mention I'm doing this great show within the corner with Benny Mac on SJP World Media. Speaking of Si, I got to give him a shout out. He's
Yeah.
don't tell him this, but he's our Paul Heyman. And boy, he's going to cuss me out later, but that's what makes it good. But thinking aside, back when we are going to get it figured out, I've been in talks with the great Scottish Danny. We are going to try to get that recorded, not this week, but the next week. There's been negotiations to make it seem even more important, but we are going to try to do that back when. And don't forget about our SH with Josh DeBoard, Yvonne DeBoard, and I think his name's Ben Axe or Chuck. I've said his name so many times, but great show. I think they're recording later on SJP World Media. They're also part. And I'm at Dustin Tyler 86. There's the rundown. Benny, I'm going to throw it back to you, but thank you so much for allowing me to promote and share a little bit of what I'm doing.
Mate.
But hey, in the corner, this has been fun doing it live. Normally we do it just audio, but doing the video version has been an experience, but it's been good.
Well, I hope people have enjoyed it. We had a good turnout tonight. To be fair, for our second live show, yeah, it's been
we did.
It's been good. Yeah, it's been really good. So yeah, this is episode as I said 56, second live show of In the Corner. Very much appreciate everybody stopping by and chatting and stuff. Thank you very much. So cheers, Dan, very much as well. We'll see you next week as well. Yeah.
Appreciate
also.
that.
Also on SCP World Media, I got to quickly say this. So you can follow myself, obviously, at Benny Mac. It's over here somewhere. There it is, right there. At Benny Mac, BENNYMACK. I've got to remember, Tyler, we are video, but we've got to make sure that the audio listeners, we've still got to spell it. We've still got to say what it is. Because if I say it's over there, that's not very helpful, is it, I suppose?
Oh, true. Yeah, that's an adjustment, and I don't often, it don't click, but I'm glad you had reminded me.
Yeah. You can follow the network, obviously, at SJP World Media. You can follow this show at In the Corner WWE. This, we do Gameplay Junkies every 2 weeks in terms of audio form. But this Sunday, we are going to be live on SJP World Media about 5:45 p.m. UK time. We are going to be, basically, just me and Jack are going to be hanging out. We're going to be watching the Microsoft events. There's also the Starfield stuff coming out as well. Just watching their conference and their It's like the expo, basically, of all these games and stuff coming out. We're going to be watching it live on the stream here on SGP. When we come and join in with us, chat to us. I love this technology because we can watch it together and we don't have to try and sync it up. It's just there on the screen. But yeah, Gameplay Junkies, follow that show at Gameplay Junkies. The Waiting Room is on season 3 now. At waiting room pod _ I think it is on Twitter. There's so many, man. But basically, follow all the stuff on SJP World Media. Basically, yeah, follow all on at SJP World Media. You can find everything that you wanted to. Tyler, see you again next Wednesday, my friend.
Yeah, and I love y'all, but go fickle yourself and get the T-shirt and get the other T-shirts in the corner honorary.
Oh yeah, the T-shirts, whatever. the merch. On
don't forget to support the other shirts too. I don't want it to seem like I'm a glory hog or glory hound, however you say it. What am I, a farm animal now? That's scary. But yeah, so many shows, and I love doing In the Corner, Benny. You are the man, and I am saluting you, like LA Knight says. Yeah, I'm all for it. You're over.
You're over. We're over, and the show's over. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, see you next week, buddy.
See you later.
Right.
To see if I succeed, to see if I believe they're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.